Hello everybody, my name is Brick York, and today we have some footage of the Bioshock The Collection, a game, bundle, basically. You may have seen with the last video being on Mafia 3 that 2K flew me out to San Francisco to go ahead and test play both Mafia 3 as well as Bioshock The Collection. And I'm giving you my thoughts on both those games. I already did the Mafia one, that was in the last video. Now today is for the Bioshock The Collection. Now, like I said before, I have to disclose that they did fly me out, so they paid for the hotel and everything like that. I'm not being paid to make the video, but I'm doing it anyway because I want to talk about it. So Bioshock The Collection is Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2 with Minerva's Den DLC, and then Bioshock Infinite with Clash of the Clouds, Burial at Sea Part 1 and Part 2. So it's every Bioshock with all the DLCs in them. I think this actually might exclude Bioshock 2's multiplayer, but no one's gonna miss that. So it's all those games with a little bit of a graphical, a remaster, a small HD update. Now, this isn't some crazy HD remaster like you may have seen in other of the Halo games, like the Halo 2 Anniversary, but it's like a texture update and a little bit better, graphics, basically, runnable frame rate, etc., etc. So I got a chance to sit down and play all three games, Bioshock 1, 2, and Infinite. Now I played all three games to begin with, so my opinions on the games, story-wise, aren't going to change. Bioshock 1 is my number 2 or number 3 favorite game of all time. I love Bioshock 1. Bioshock 2, I think it had really good gameplay, but the story was super lackluster and was not a huge fan. And Infinite was kind of middle of the pack. I loved Infinite, but I loved Bioshock 1 more, and the gameplay was okay, but Infinite had a really good story and good voice acting and things like that. And plus, Infinite's Burial at Sea DLC is phenomenal. Love those DLCs. So by replaying them, I was basically looking for two things. How did it run? Because it's for the new consoles, or actually no, the current consoles, the current gen now. They're not new anymore. It's for the Xbox One, PS4, and I think it's also for the PC, but don't quote me on that. To see how they ran compared to the other ones, compared to the PC versions, etc., etc., etc. Now, I played Bioshock 1 on the 360, and it did not look, it looked okay at the time. It's 2007 or something, it was a while ago. But I replayed Bioshock 1 on the PC, and the PC version looks pretty okay. Now the Bioshock 1 in the Bioshock collection looks about the same as the PC version, a little bit better. Not a huge graphical update, honestly, you couldn't really tell the major difference between this and the PC one in the first couple hours of gameplay, but you could see some small differences, but really it's basically the PC one. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it looks better than it used to. It's got some really good lighting effects, and the textures are definitely bumped and look a lot better. But it still suffers from some of the older kind of Bioshock issues. Some of the textures, if you look close up, don't look very good. The facial expressions look kind of derpy. I mean, it looks like Bioshock 1 on the PC brought over to the current consoles, basically. There's not a huge difference in that game. Bioshock 2, about the same thing. Bioshock 2 didn't look a whole lot different. It had a little bit better textures, looked a little bit nicer. Nothing too crazy about Bioshock 2. Minerva's Den I played Minerva's Den again. Minerva's Den was actually a DLC for Bioshock 2. The thing was super underrated. I really enjoyed Minerva's Den. And now Infinite nowadays looks gorgeous. In this game, it looks really gorgeous. Infinite looks beautiful. I don't know if it's just as beautiful as it looked back in the day as well, a couple of years ago whenever it came out, but it blew me away again and again and again. Walking through Colombia, looking at all the scenery and stuff, it looked absolutely phenomenal. Same goes with the Burial at Sea DLC, they all look really damn good. Now, honestly, the question isn't is this game worth the money due to the fact of the HD remaster or anything like that. It's not necessarily that whole thing. Now, Bioshock 2 isn't my favorite game, but it's an okay game. It's decent, and Minerva's Den is very much worth playing. So really the question comes down to, do you want to play these games either again or for the first time? Because it is the first Bioshock, Bioshock 2 with the DLC, and Bioshock Infinite with all the DLC for I think $60. And honestly, that's a pretty damn good deal. Bioshock 1 is 8-9 hours of a really excellently well-told story, leaking in atmosphere and creepiness with awesome upgrades and interesting gameplay.
What can I do with this one, Aphrodite? She won't stay still! I want to make them beautiful, but they always turn out wrong! That was too fat! This one too tall! This one too symmetrical! And now, what's this goddess? An intruder! He's ugly! 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 Ugly!
A lot of fun, great time setter at the moment, excellent game. Bioshock 2 improves upon that excellent gameplay and really kind of pushes it to a new level and makes like a whole bunch of different changes and makes it like a lot more fun to do the gameplay, but the story is a bit lackluster with the exception of Minerva's Den. Infinite has some decent gameplay, not the most amazing gameplay, but decent enough, you know, with an excellently well done story, great voice acting, and very interesting characters. And not only that, but the Burial at Sea DLCs are some of the best DLCs in ever. They are excellently well done and a lot of fun. I love these games. I think that they're great games, and therefore I honestly think that, yeah, this is if you have never played them before, this is a great fucking deal, man. You know, I look back at the Master Chief Collection, I see Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4 with all the multiplayer maps and all the campaigns and all that shit, and I think to myself, people were so upset with that game because the servers were shit and they destroyed like in the first month and everyone got pissed off. In this game, there are no servers to piss off. There's no servers to fuck up. You can just play the campaigns. They're totally worth the time. You know, Bioshock 1's like 8 to 9 hours. Bioshock 2 is like around the same with Minerva's Den, giving you an extra like couple hours. Bioshock Infinite's like 12 to 13 hours with an extra 5 hours for the extra DLC. There's a lot of content in these games. They aren't ridiculously crazy like HD remaster or anything like that, but for these games, the story is really where it's at. And honestly, the HD remaster kind of stuff that they put into the game is a bit better. It definitely helps. It's nothing crazy, but it's definitely better than it used to be, and I, you know, give them some props for that. Honestly, this game is just like, do you want to play these Bioshock games again or, you know, for the first time? If it's again, I mean, $60 for all this DLC, I'm sure there's something you haven't played. If you have played them all, then, I mean, it's up to you. But if you've never played Bioshock before and you like story-driven games like this, I would have recommended this to you like years ago. I think these are great games. I recommend these games to everyone regardless. And honestly, if you never played Bioshock, you really should play some. And it comes out soon, so, you know, it's a good time. Anyway, I just wanted to do a little bit of a rundown with the Bioshock games, you know, kind of talk a little bit about them and do the usual thing. As I said before, did get flown out by 2K, paid for the hotel and all that kind of shit. Were quite nice. They had some really good coffee. Their coffee was pretty damn good. But regardless, thank you very much for watching. My name's Brick York today, and I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Bye-bye.